Snip, snip, snip. The sound of scissors cutting through hair echoed in the darkness. 22-year-old Kemi jolted awake, her hand flying to her head. Her fingers found nothing but stubble where her magnificent gele-worthy hair once cascaded down her back. "My hair!" she screamed, her voice breaking the silence of the Lagos night. "My hair is gone!" Standing in the doorway with scissors in hand, her stepmother Fumilayo smiled coldly. "Now let's see if the Oba's son will want a bald-headed chicken like you at tomorrow's selection ceremony." But how did we get here? How did the girl once called the beauty of Ikeja end up bald and broken on the floor of her own room? Make sure to watch till the end because what happened next is unbelievable. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for new true life stories every day. Tell me in the comments where in the world you are watching from and how far these stories travel. Now, let's dive in. 6 months earlier, Kemi Adebayo was the pride of Ikeja. Her hair was legendary, thick, natural coils that reached her waist, so beautiful that women from neighboring villages would travel just to see her braid it. Market women would pause their haggling to watch her pass by, and children would point in wonder. "Kemi, your hair is like black silk blessed by the ancestors," her mother, Aduni, would say every morning as she helped her daughter oil and braid her crown. "But remember, my daughter, your beauty shines from within. Your heart is your greatest ornament." Aduni was a trader in the famous Balogun market, known for her honesty and kindness. She taught Kemi that true beauty came from character, but she also taught her to take pride in the magnificent hair that was their family's heritage. Then came the fever that took everything away. Aduni fought the illness for 3 months. Kemi never left her side, feeding her mother spoonfuls of pepper soup and reading her Yoruba folk tales. On her final night, Aduni gripped Kemi's hand with surprising strength. "Promise me something," she whispered. "Never let anyone dim your light. Your worth comes from here," she touched her chest, "not from what grows on your head. But both are gifts from God." That night, Aduni closed her eyes for the last time. Kemi's father, Babatunde, was devastated. He was a gentleman who worked as a clerk in a government office, but he had always relied on Aduni's strength. Within 6 months, loneliness and pressure from relatives convinced him to remarry. He chose Fumilayo Okafor, a widow from Surulere, with her own daughter, 17-year-old Chioma. From day one, Fumilayo's jealousy was obvious. She would stare at Kemi's hair with undisguised envy, her lips pursed in disapproval. Chioma, spoiled and lazy, spent her days on TikTok and shopping with her mother's money, while Fumilayo assigned Kemi every household chore. "Kemi, sweep the compound," Fumilayo would bark. "Wash these clothes, cook this rice. A girl with your background should know her place." When Babatunde tried to intervene, Fumilayo would cry dramatically. "Your daughter thinks she's better than us because of that hair. She flaunts it like she's some kind of princess." Gradually, Babatunde grew silent. Work became his escape, leaving early and returning late, while Kemi's life became an endless cycle of cleaning, cooking, and enduring Chioma's taunts. "Sister Kemi," Chioma would sneer, "that hair won't save you from being a house girl forever." But Kemi remembered her mother's words. Every night, she would carefully braid her hair and whisper, "Mama, I'm keeping my heart kind just like you taught me." The news spread through Lagos like wildfire. Prince Adebayo Ogundiyu, the Oba's eldest son, was finally ready to choose a bride. There would be a grand selection ceremony at the palace in Victoria Island, and every unmarried woman between 18 and 30 was invited. The entire city buzzed with excitement. This wasn't just any prince. Adebayo was known for his intelligence, his work with youth charities, and his stunning good looks. Every family with an eligible daughter began preparing. When Kemi heard the news at the market, her heart soared. For the first time in months, she felt hope. She rushed home to find Fumilayo and Chioma already planning Chioma's outfit. "Mama Fumi," Kemi said breathlessly, using the respectful address, "can I also attend the prince's ceremony?" Fumilayo's face twisted with rage. "You, a common house girl, have you lost your senses?" Chioma laughed cruelly. "Look at yourself, Kemi. You smell like palm oil and your hands are rough from washing clothes. What would a prince want with someone like you?" But Kemi stood firm. "I am also an unmarried woman of Lagos. I have every right to attend." Fumilayo's eyes narrowed dangerously. "Right. You have no right in this house except to serve. If you even think about embarrassing this family, you will regret it." That night, Kemi lay on her mat, touching her beautiful braids and dreaming of dancing with the prince. She had no idea that in the next room, Fumilayo was plotting her destruction. The ceremony was scheduled for the next evening. Kemi had spent the day working extra hard, completing every chore perfectly, hoping to earn permission to attend. She had even saved enough money from small errands to buy a simple but elegant dress. "I've done everything you asked," Kemi said to Fumilayo that evening. "Please, may I go to the ceremony?" Fumilayo pretended to consider it. "Fine, but only after you finish tomorrow's chores tonight. Clean the entire house, cook tomorrow's meals, and wash everyone's clothes." Kemi worked until 2 a.m., her body aching but her spirit soaring. She had done it. She would attend the ceremony. Exhausted, she fell into a deep sleep, her beautiful braids spread across her pillow like a dark waterfall. That's when Fumilayo crept in with the scissors. Snip, snip, snip. Years of careful growth, her mother's legacy, her pride and joy, all fell to the floor in lifeless coils. Fumilayo gathered the severed braids and threw them in the dustbin. "Now we will see how beautiful you are," she whispered viciously. "My hair! Somebody help me! My hair is gone!" Kemi's screams woke the entire neighborhood. She knelt on the floor, frantically gathering the cut braids, her tears streaming down her face. Babatunde rushed in first. When he saw his daughter's bald head, his face went pale. "Fumi, how could you do this?" "She needed to learn humility," Fumilayo said coldly. "Now she knows her place." Chioma stood behind her mother, but for the first time, she looked uncomfortable. Kemi looked at her father through her tears. "Papa, she destroyed the last thing Mama left me." Babatunde opened his mouth to speak, but Fumilayo's sharp glare silenced him. He looked away, choosing his wife over his daughter. That's when Kemi truly understood she was alone. Wrapping a cloth around her head, Kemi ran through the streets of Ikeja to her best friend Folake's house. Folake had been her classmate at Lagos State University before financial problems forced Kemi to drop out. "Folake," she pounded on the door, "please open." When Folake saw Kemi's tear-stained face and covered head, she immediately pulled her inside. "What happened to you?" Kemi removed the cloth, revealing her completely bald head. Folake gasped, then her eyes filled with fury. "That woman is evil, but listen to me carefully," Folake gripped Kemi's shoulders. "You are still going to that ceremony." "How? Look at me." "Do you remember what your mother always said? Beauty comes from within. Today we prove it." Folake disappeared into her room and returned with a stunning gold and royal blue gele head wrap that had belonged to her grandmother. She also brought out an elegant emerald green aswebi that she had been saving for a special occasion. "This gele has been blessed by 3 generations of strong women," Folake said, expertly wrapping Kemi's head. "Tonight, you wear their strength."
When Kemi looked in the mirror, she gasped. The elaborate head wrap was regal, dignified, beautiful. She looked like royalty. "But what if he sees my baldness?" "Then he'll see your courage," Folake replied firmly. The Tafawa Balewa Square had been transformed into a royal palace for the evening. Hundreds of Lagos's most beautiful women arrived in expensive cars, dripping with jewelry and elaborate hairstyles. When Kemi arrived with Folake, whispers followed them. "Who is that? She carries herself like a queen. Look at that gele. It's magnificent. There's something special about her." Prince Adebayo stood at the front of the gathering, tall and commanding in his traditional agbada. He had been politely greeting the women, but when his eyes found Kemi, he stopped mid-sentence. Their eyes met across the crowd, and time seemed to freeze. Slowly, he walked through the crowd toward her. Every step was deliberate, his gaze never leaving her face. "Would you honor me with a dance?" he asked, extending his hand. As they danced to the gentle rhythm of talking drums, Kemi felt like she was floating. The prince's eyes were kind, intelligent, and focused entirely on her. "What is your name?" he asked softly. "Kemi Adebayo, Your Highness." "Kemi," he repeated, as if testing how it sounded. "You have the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. They hold stories." Just then, a commotion erupted from the crowd. "She's a fraud," Fumileyo's voice cut through the music like a knife. "That girl is bald. She's covering her shameful head." The music stopped. Everyone turned to stare. Fumileyo pushed through the crowd with Kioma beside her. "Your Highness," Fumileyo said with fake concern, "this girl is deceiving you. Under that head wrap, she has no hair. She's not fit to marry a prince." Murmurs spread through the crowd. Some women snickered. Kioma smirked triumphantly. Kemi's heart pounded. Shame burned her cheeks. She started to step away, but Prince Adebayo gently caught her hand. "Is this true?" he asked quietly, his voice curious, not accusatory. Kemi looked into his eyes, remembering her mother's words about never dimming her light. With trembling hands, she began to unwrap her deli. "Yes," she said, clearly, her voice growing stronger. The magnificent head wrap fell away, revealing her completely bald head. Gasps echoed through the crowd. Some people stared in shock, others in pity. But Prince Adebayo's expression never changed. He continued looking into her eyes with the same intensity. "Why?" he asked simply. Kemi's voice didn't waver. "My stepmother cut it off to stop me from coming here. She said no prince would want a bald woman." The prince nodded slowly, then did something that shocked everyone. He knelt down in front of Kemi, in front of hundreds of people. "Kemi Adebayo, will you marry me?" he said loud enough for everyone to hear. The crowd erupted. Some cheered, others gasped in disbelief. Fumileyo's face went white as chalk. But she's bald," someone shouted. The prince stood up, still holding Kemi's hand. "Yes, she is. And she's also the bravest, most honest woman here. Hair grows back, character doesn't change. I choose courage over curls." Kemi's eyes filled with tears of joy. "Yes," she whispered, then louder. "Yes, I will marry you." 3 months later, all of Lagos gathered to witness Kemi's wedding to Prince Adebayo. Her hair had started growing back in soft curls, but she chose to wear the same blessed gele that Folake had given her. As she stood before the crowd, now Princess Kemi, she thought of her mother and smiled. "My people," she addressed the gathering, her voice clear and strong. "I stand here today not because I was the most beautiful woman at the ceremony. I stand here because I chose truth over deception, courage over comfort." She touched her gele gently. "This head wrap covers the baldness that my stepmother created to shame me, but it also represents something greater, the strength that lives in every woman who has ever been told she wasn't enough." The crowd listened intently. To every young girl watching, remember this: they can cut your hair, steal your clothes, take away your possessions, but they can never take your worth.
Your value doesn't live in your appearance. It lives in your courage to keep standing when others try to break you. From the crowd, Funmilayo watched silently, her face a mixture of regret and amazement. For the first time, she truly understood what she had tried to destroy. Prince Adebayo took Kemi's hand and spoke to the crowd. Today, your new princess teaches us that real royalty isn't inherited, it's earned through character. Nigeria, meet your queen of courage. The crowd erupted in celebration. Women throughout Lagos began wearing geles proudly, and the Kemi style became a symbol of strength for women who had faced rejection, abuse, or discrimination. But the most beautiful moment came later when Kemi visited her mother's grave wearing her wedding gele. "Mama," she whispered, kneeling beside the headstone, "I kept my heart kind, just like you taught me. And you were right. My real crown was always inside me." The wind rustled through the cemetery trees, and Kemi could swear she heard her mother's voice. "I'm proud of you, my daughter. You've shown the world what true beauty looks like." That night, as Princess Kemi fell asleep beside her prince, she touched her growing hair and smiled. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but she had learned the most important lesson of all. No one could ever take away what really mattered. Her stepmother had tried to destroy her crown, not knowing that her real crown could never be caught. My beautiful viewers, this story is for every person who has ever been told they weren't enough. If Kemi's courage touched your heart, please hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message today. Subscribe to my channel for more inspiring stories that celebrate the strength within all of us. Most importantly, I want to hear from you in the comments below. Has someone ever tried to dim your light or take away what made you special? How did you find the courage to keep shining? Your story could be the encouragement someone else desperately needs to hear. Remember, no matter what anyone says or does to you, your real crown, your worth, your strength, your beautiful heart can never be taken away.